Good morning, everybody. Here was Sideline Sports, the Sideline Sports crew in the car. We are on the way to the Phoenix Convention Center. We have some business to attend to. We're going to be live on Radio Row. We're going to be doing a bunch of different things today. But we're going to have the show before the show in the car. I got my man JB in the driver's seat. JB, say what's up to the people.
How's it going?
And then we got the crew in the back seat. We got the man. We got Will Fago and Jon Shearer.
If tells you to eat a chocolate cake shake, don't do it. Do not do it.
0 out of 10. 0 out of 10 chocolate cake shake. Would not recommend it.
Listen, Portillo's is great stuff, but the chocolate cake shake did not go over well by everybody yesterday.
And Portillo's, if you're listening,
Portillo's was trash. The chocolate cake shake was trash. Do not. It's like, I don't know how I would describe it. It's kind of like drinking.
Just drinking.
It's literally like if you put half a bottle of chocolate syrup and you bake the chocolate cake and you just like mixed it together and put a straw. That's what it tasted like. It was disgusting. I would never recommend doing it. Waste of $5. But
Forks up.
Forks up. Or forks down, or spoons up, as I like to say. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on. But this game next Sunday between the Eagles and the Chiefs, it's going to be a game between two of the teams that, for the two number one seeds in the regular season, two of the teams that went 14-3 respectively, and also the two teams that are. These two guys were the top two leading candidates for the league MVP. And not only that, it's the first time in history that you have two starting quarterbacks in the Super Bowl that are both African American. So, guys, what can you say about that? Do you guys think this is something huge that can build on for the success of people at the at quarterback position that are African American?
Not just an African American quarterback, just more so on the aspect of advancement of running quarterbacks in general. A lot of people talk a lot of junk about Lamar Jackson, that he can't get it done. He's just a running quarterback. We literally seen two running quarterbacks that actually made it to the Super Bowl. So that proves everything right. You just have to have the right system. So, it's nice that, we're highlighting African American, but hopefully one day we can actually see where, skin complexion won't just be a headline topic. And we're also forgetting about Nicole Lynn, which is Jalen Hurts' sports agent. She's the first African-American sports agent. So she's doing big things and stuff like that. And it's nice to see women of color, and it's not just women of color, but women in general are doing big things in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Listen, 2023, the fact that we still have to speak about that is sad. These two guys are great quarterbacks. I'm glad to see both of them there.
Let's not call Jalen Hurts a great quarterback. Really
all right, you
can. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback.
Listen. The man has done nothing but face adversity and overcome it. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback.
Jalen Hurts has elevated this team to the next level.
It wasn't 1 year. He had a great year the year before. The dude got benched at college, stayed there, came out, and did phenomenal. Transferred to win the Heisman. That dude is a great quarterback. I want that guy on my team. But I'm a Giant fan. So we hate the Eagles. If you tell me right now you give me Jalen Hurts, I'm all for it. So that's all I got to say.
You don't have a quarterback.
Wow.
Even though you
I take anybody over Daniel Jones. You see what I have to put up with, guys. More people doubting Jalen Hurts ahead of the Super Bowl. So we're going to see what he's able to do in this game. So what
it might be like a Baker Mayfield type of aspect, because we've seen Baker Mayfield, it went up and then his stock went down. Yeah. So we're going to see after the Super Bowl, if Jalen Hurts can still continue to have that high cylinder.
Baker Mayfield never got to a Super Bowl. So.
No, but look what he did with the Browns.
Yeah, he
had his rookie year.
He had 1 good year. Well, Jalen Hurts already got a second good year.
Baker did well too. He led the Browns to the playoffs.
That's Fago's point. He had one really good year.
Jalen
Hurts is not.
Jalen Hurts is not going to be a one-year wonder. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. He's going to be a top 10 quarterback for the next 10 years. The Eagles are going to give him the big money. He's worth every bit of the money. He's the reason that this team is where they were 2 years ago. Carson Wentz was on this team. He had a big contract. Carson Wentz, this team went 4-11-1 in Jalen Hurts' rookie year. They were using him as a gadget player. They didn't give him a real opportunity to develop himself as a quarterback. They were just making stupid plays and throwing him out there. They actually let him be the starter last year. He got the team to the playoffs, and this year he took another huge step. And he is the reason why this team is where they are. Yes, they brought in A.J. Brown, but every other player on the offense is the same. Devontae Smith was already here. Miles Sanders was already here. Dallas Goedert already here. Offensive line already here. So what's the factor that has taken this team to the next level? It's the development of Jalen Hurts that has taken this offense to the next level.
Well, that shows how good of a head coach Nick Sirianni is too.
I said before the year, this is the Eagles' year. There's nobody in the division that's going to compete with them. Dallas was frauds. The Giants played way over their expectations. Great year. And then you have that other team, which I don't even know what we're going to call them, but they're there too.
The Commanders.
You know. So I said before the beginning of the year, the team to beat in the division was Philly, and this was the year to get to the Super Bowl. I believe I told you that. If they were going to do it, it was this year. And as usual, JB Ellis is right. I said before the year Minnesota was going to bounce back. Minnesota bounced back. So for all your
quote-unquote bounce back, lost in the wild card round to the Giants at home.
Yeah, but they were garbage last year. And I said that they're going to come back and do well. I didn't think they were going to win the division. I figured they get a wild card. But
and remember,
the Packers were bad.
Was on the hot seat. He was supposed to be traded.
Which I don't understand. And the fans didn't like him. The fans didn't understand how good of a quarterback they had.
Because we were trying to go after Deshaun Watson.
Forget Deshaun Watson.
No, I don't think we actually were trying to go after any of the guys. The fans wanted us to go after guys because they didn't believe in Jalen Hurts. They wanted Deshaun Watson. They wanted Russell Wilson. They wanted Aaron Rodgers. They wanted to draft a quarterback. They wanted who was it? Kenny Pickett. Guys like that. Like anyone with sense knew that Jalen Hurts was better than any of the quarterbacks that were coming out of the draft. But Jalen Hurts was coming out of his last year with Oklahoma. Let's say he was coming out of his last year with Oklahoma last year, and then he goes to the draft. He would be the number one pick in the draft. There's no question about it.
But look at it from this standpoint too. When the Eagles traded for A.J. Brown in the NFL draft, that gave the Eagles a true number one wide receiver. They
absolutely did.
Before. So A.J. Brown helped the development of Jalen Hurts. At least that's what I saw anyway, because he had the confidence to know that A.J. Brown would go get that football, which led to development from Devontae Smith and other players to excel, like Smith, Goddard, what's his face, Miles Sanders in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not to mention
Gainwell.
Kenneth Gainwell's been unbelievable in the playoffs.
All the young quarterbacks recently: Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Tua, Tyreek Hill. Like he already had Jalen Waddle, but he got Tyreek Hill. That changed things. Josh Allen got Stephon Diggs. That changed things. Like all these quarterbacks, it's not that they need a number one, but it definitely helps change the trajectory of their careers when you give them somebody that they can rely on, somebody that can move the chains for them on number one. That changes everything in helping develop a quarterback. That's why you haven't seen it from Justin Fields throwing the ball. It's because he has nobody to throw to. If you give Justin Fields something like DeAndre Hopkins, something like that, you'll see his passing go up. It'll go up a lot better. You know what I mean? Like it'll get a lot better.
But they have to have an offensive line.
Right, but you see my point is all these young quarterbacks have had that number one receiver to kind of help their growth improve to Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. All these quarterbacks have needed that. It's not that they can't develop, but that definitely speeds up the process.
Well, Chicago
when you're fighting with a 4 or 5 year deal before they get a actual contract, and because once Jalen Hurts gets to that deal, the Eagles are going to have to start, they're going to have to start cutting money somewhere because he's going to get in the 40s.
Which is why this is their year. You're watching the Sideline show,
right now.
Sideline Sports pre-show before Radio Row.
I didn't mean to
If you love this great quality content with these great people, make sure you subscribe and follow on Twitter at Sideline Sports 1. Subscribe to the YouTube. We're going to be live from Radio Row all week. We have tons of guests coming to you. We got Will Stein in the back, who knows like every NFL player except Eli Manning.
This man is an agent.
We got Fago Franklin, who's the most connected man in the NFL. We got Jon Shearer.
Fear the Shearer.
You already know.
Who likes the worst team in professional football.
Thanks a lot. We're not the Jets.
That's Green Bay. Thank you very much.
Okay, that was some good talk about the Eagles, but let's take it to the other side. How about Patrick Mahomes this season? Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't think anybody would argue against that. What he was able to do this season without Tyreek Hill, with all the question marks around, what's Mahomes going to do without Tyreek Hill if he doesn't have like a great receiving core, even though Travis Kelce is still there. Some of these guys are not really household names. Valdez-Scantling, not really a household name. Not saying that these guys are scrubs or anything, but Juju, Valdez-Scantling, Mecole Hardman, guys like that. You trade for Kadarius Toney in the middle of the season. These guys are not household names. But
right.
Patrick Mahomes still had one of the best seasons of his career, and he's likely going to win the MVP. So how impressive is it to see what Mahomes has done?
Well, a lot of people preseason counted them out.
Especially Bart Scott.
And that was absurd and idiotic. Anybody that would count out Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid doesn't cover football. They're just looking for shock value. And that's garbage. Don't watch stuff like that. Watch Sideline Sports. Subscribe now. Don't waste your time with stupid stuff. If anyone says that, the Chiefs are done, while Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are still there, just don't even listen. That's really all I can say.
Like I said.
Look, Mahomes got so many touchdowns this year where he just dumped it off to Jerick McKinnon on a 1-yard screen pass. That's a 56-yard touchdown. Like, come on, what are we doing? We're just giving him all this credit.
And how about Pacheco out of Rutgers all of a sudden? That
Mahomes always has. The defense was really good for him.
Rutgers.
The running game ended up being really good. The system's really generous to him. He has Travis Kelce. This guy always has, all of the help in the world. I want to see him in a system that's not Andy Reid's. And then let's see how this guy probably has more touchdowns this year of 2 yards, 5 yards or less, and dump offs.
So you want to see Mahomes on another team, which is never going to happen.
Oh, no.
He dumps off so many touchdowns and gets so many.
So I want you to tell Lee Steinberg, if and when he comes to our table, that you want to see Mahomes on a different team.
Sure. Okay. Well,
and when Lee gets up and leaves.
Andy Reid retired. Let's see what he does with the new coach, new system. Let's see that. I'm a little bit.
Andy's not going to retire.
Plus, I got a little more.
What do you think Andy's having for breakfast right about now?
Probably cheeseburger.
Some kind of cheeseburger, bro.
For breakfast?
Tortillas.
He eats it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow.
Well,
Andy's my hero.
Never had a true number 1 wide receiver in Philadelphia.
He had Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens was 1 year.
But
so what? He was still there.
He was the reason they got to the Super Bowl.
Terrell Owens was the reason the Eagles got to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
A receiver.
100%.
Time out. I want
have that catch, that fourth down catch.
You realize that a receiver can't get the ball to himself. He can't block the defense. Can't tackle.
So you're saying McNabb? You're telling me McNabb was the reason?
I'm saying a quarterback's always more of a reason than a receiver. Always, because who's involved with more percentages of plays?
So let me ask you
this. Don't go that route. Don't do that.
We had, when McNabb was injured, we had Jeff Garcia. Did he take us to the promised land?
Okay, so Nick, what about Nick Foles? So was Nick Foles the greatest thing ever?
He got us.
He was during those playoffs. He was during that time.
Nick Foles wasn't on the Eagles when Andy Reid was the head coach.
Yes, he was. Andy Reid drafted him. He was only there for 1 year, but he was still there.
But I know what Will is
No,
saying.
I'm talking about like for the 2000.
Show people some of the desert as we're talking.
When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was
yeah.
Jefferson was the head
Oh,
coach.
dude, you want to come a little closer?
Not Andy Reid.
Exactly.
Yes, Andy Reid drafted. What's his face?
So Doug came from Andy Reid's coaching tree.
There you go. Yep.
Everything circles back to
Andy Reid.
or Bill Belichick.
That's why Andy Reid's actually the best coach
Well, actually,
in the league. Everyone says Bill Belichick this, Bill Belichick that, but Bill Belichick has a losing record without Tom Brady, which is why I don't think Bill Belichick is the greatest. He's not the greatest. He's not the greatest of all time.
Anybody's career would take a hit if they lost Tom Brady. Like, let's not, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm saying, look at the coach he was with the Cleveland Browns.
and that's
Before he came
his
to
coaching
New England,
tree
he
is
still had a
garbage.
losing record.
Here's a perfect example of a good quarterback, bad head coach. Jim Caldwell from the Colts. 2009, Colts went 13-3. They go to the Super Bowl. When Peyton Manning gets injured, they go like 3-13, have the #1 pick. Jim Caldwell gets fired, goes to the Detroit Lions. Sure, they have a couple good seasons, but Jim Caldwell wasn't a good head coach. He had a good quarterback in Peyton Manning. That's it.
All I'm saying to you is this: Bill Belichick is not the genius that the world thinks him to be.
He's a defensive genius. He's definitely a defensive genius. I think the problem with Belichick is he's a GM and the coach. You need to just not be the GM. He'll be fine as a coach if he just lets somebody else do the GM. You can't do both.
Hey,
We've
tell
seen
that to
that.
Jerry Jones.
That was literally about.
Yeah, how's that working out? Like,
He's a billionaire. I don't think he has any
yeah,
problem.
we're talking about winning.
All right,
Damn, man.
all right, here's the question. Do you honestly think every owner in the NFL cares about winning?
You should. That's
Not my question. My question is, do you think every owner in the NFL cares about winning?
Just filling
Absolutely not. I mean,
Jerry
you could.
cares about winning,
Just filling them seats.
but he cares so much that he also thinks that he's God's gift to the world when it comes to.
Jerry does not care about winning. Jerry cares about making headlines. He cares about people talking about the Dallas Cowboys. He does not care about the Cowboys winning. He is satisfied with the rings that he already has. So now he doesn't care. That's why he goes out and says stupid stuff like, the Cowboys are building for the long term and stuff. What do you mean you're building for the long term? You've been losing in the divisional round for the last 28 years, and you're going to talk to me about your building for the long term. How long is the long term? 40 years? 50 years? When are we actually going to see something from the Dallas Cowboys? So Jerry knows that. Jerry knows that's a bunch of crap. So he's saying it to get shock value, to get people talking about it, which people are doing, which I'm doing. So I'm doing what he wants.
But at his age, like, you can't, like, he's gonna die eventually. Like, he's in, what, in his 80s or whatever? Like,
He's gonna die eventually. Everyone dies.
Jeez,
but
bro.
Everyone dies.
That
dies.
Not being honest.
That was a little bit dark though. Like,
desperate.
Who doesn't die?
Another Super Bowl before he dies. Like, it's realistic.
No, he doesn't. If he wanted to,
He
he
wants
would
to
get
build-
a better head coach. And
He
would
wants
get a
to
better
build new
quarterback.
stadiums and be responsible for the financing so he can make
You can't
money.
tell me he's not desperate at this point. After seeing his division rival go to all these Super Bowls and Eagles, the Giants won 2. Since they won their last one, the Cowboys, the Giants and Eagles have dominated that division.
What
And the Cowboys have been irrelevant.
what
I think
team
he
is
wants to go
worth the
out
most
that
in the
way.
NFL?
Huh?
What team is worth the most if you were going to sell right now in the
the
NFL?
Cowboys.
Exactly. That's all Jerry cares about. Winning is a bonus to these guys.
But at his age and with him seeing his division rivals do that to him and embarrass him, you think he wants to go into his coffin like that? No.
Embarrass him.
No.
Embarrass him.
The Giants and Eagles have embarrassed the Cowboys since they won their last championship. All these championships between the two of them and Super Bowl appearances and conference championship appearances between the Giants and Eagles, the Cowboys haven't had one conference championship. Come on, you think Jerry wants to go out that way? Hell no. He has all the money in the world, but you think he wouldn't give that up just for one more Super Bowl? I guarantee he would give all that up for one more Super Bowl.
I disagree
I
completely.
guarantee he would.
I disagree.
Doesn't seem like he would.
Because if he would, he would have hired the right coach. He wouldn't be the GM.
But he thinks that he's a good GM. That's the thing.
So he's delusional. What you're saying?
Yes. If he just gets out of the way, which he can't, because he's.
Which he can't, and he won't.
Can't because he thinks he knows everything.
And he won't.
He thinks he's God's gift. He knows everything. And we all know that, but he lives in his own world.
So. You have to get over one more, Jed.
Jed.
You.
I'm Joe. JB. I'm definitely not Jed.
Jim or Jen?
I thought you said Jed. There's no Jeds in the car, people.
No, I said Jay.
Oh, Jay.
No.
I don't even know what's going on right now. So let's take a transition. Who was the most surprising player to you guys in the NFL this season? JB, we'll start with you.
Great question. I go Michael Parsons. I wasn't expecting for him to dominate the way he did.
Okay. All right, John?
Yeah, I would have to go Jamal Williams, man. I mean, he broke Barry Sanders' record for touchdowns in a season. That's a pretty damn good record to break, so I'd have to go Jamal Williams. Guy's an absolute dog. The Lions should re-sign him. If not, you can come to Miami. Love to have you. Actually, don't go to the Lions. Come to Miami. You're welcome there.
Doug Peterson, just what he's doing with Jacksonville and got them boys playing. They actually made a Super Bowl appearance. I mean, not Super Bowl, but playoff appearance since 2017, which was definitely nice. We saw the advancement with Trevor Lawrence. He's becoming a little bit more patient instead of rushing throws, and we're starting to see him develop into the quarterback that we could possibly potentially see as a good quarterback in the NFL.
That's a very good question. I'm going to have to say Jalen Hurts, honestly, because I knew he was a good athlete, but I didn't see him progressing up to the level that he has so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Jalen Hurts. So we got Micah Parsons, Jalen Hurts, Jamal Williams, and Doug Peterson. But I am going to have to say, for me, Geno Smith. What Geno Smith did in Seattle this season.
That was phenomenal.
Nobody before the season would have predicted that. Seattle they wrote him off. He did not write back. So Geno got the Seahawks to the playoffs. Obviously, the Seahawks traded Russell Wilson. The Denver Broncos are the team that were supposed to, Russell Wilson was supposed to put them into Super Bowl contention. But they were one of the worst teams in the league. While Seattle was really good, but people thought Seattle would be the team that struggled the most. But it was the other way around. Denver stunk, and Seattle actually made it to the wild card round.
So not to cut you off, but question for you.
Yep.
Right? Nathaniel Hackett was the worst coach, I think, in NFL history.
Competing with Urban Meyer, sure.
So with the way he coached, do you not feel that maybe Russell Wilson just didn't want to play for him? Maybe he still got something, because that regression was ridiculous. I mean, Hackett, we all know, think about, managing the game clock. Kids learn how to manage game clock by playing Madden. I was 7 playing football on video games. I knew how to manage the clock.
So
at the end of the game.
They had video games in the 50s, JB?
Whoa. You're killing me. We didn't have Madden back then. We had Tech Mobile and all sorts of good games.
Well, the Broncos got Nathaniel Hackett because they thought they were going to get Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. That's exactly why they went after him.
And you see, there's already the flawed system. Who wants Aaron Rodgers?
Well, that's a stupid thing to do. You should get Rodgers before you get Hackett. And if you don't get Rodgers, don't get Hackett. That was because if that's the only reason you're going to get Hackett.
So, basically what we're saying is we're giving Russell Wilson a pass for being trash.
I'm not. He was awful.
No, he was awful. But I'm just saying there's reasons sometimes behind it. Because
so is Sean Payton going to change everything for him, do you think?
I think he'll play better, yeah.
He'll play better, but he won't be the
He'll play better, but will he ever be as good as he was?
Yes. No. Jerry Jeudy has to step up.
Yes.
He has to step up. Like, you go out there, get draft a guy like Jerry Jeudy. Coming out of college, he was phenomenal.
And Cortland Sutton.
And exactly, yep. And my whole thing is dropping balls and being inconsistent is not going to do it. Like, I think he should, there should be a little heat under his ass as well.
So what you're saying, Jerry Judy's like the next Troy Williamson?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
because Troy Williamson was hyped at South Carolina, and then he goes to Minnesota, and he couldn't catch a
Always
goal.
back to the Vikings.
and then also they don't have a running back. They need to actually, either draft a running back or get somebody.
Oh, no.
But it's okay.
Devontae-
The Vikings,
Devontae Williams is really good. He just was hurt. Everybody forgot about him.
The Vikings have a real superstar in Jalen Reagor, so they don't have to worry about their receivers anymore.
Wow.
Devontae's really good for Denver.
The superstar is Justin Jefferson, which Philadelphia
Oh, here we
passed
go.
him at 21. Imagine if Justin Jefferson was on the Eagles at
Oh,
21.
jeez.
Oh,
Imagine
my
if
goodness.
A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were on the Eagles. Oh, wait, they are.
Good one.
I don't even know my receivers' names.
Look,
Yeah.
Who, Darius Slayton,
I'm not counting him.
Isaiah Hodgins.
Saquon Barkley.
He was like an undrafted guy that you guys picked up. He was pretty good.
You know, he was
Hey, you guys
decent.
spent $18 million on Kenny Galladay.
I'm not going to lie. Your guys' receivers kind of suck.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, they're horrible.
The Giants suck.
They're horrible.
That's why I was surprised they even made it to the playoffs.
They played above their heads.
No, Brian DeBall did a great job, bro.
Daboll's a great coach. Well, let's hope he's a great coach. He did really great year one. I hope
He turned the team around.
Yes. He
Daniel
changed the
Jones.
culture. That first game against the Titans, go for 2. Totally changed the culture of the team.
So, do you want to build around Daniel Jones or
No.
just leave him?
No, 2 years of find a quarterback. We're stuck with him because we did this good. Had we had the year I was hoping for 5 or 6 wins,
They would have got rid of him.
we would have had a chance to draft somebody. Now we're stuck.
Stuck in that
Hey, you guys
mediocrity.
can still draft Anthony Richardson from Florida.
No, don't do that, please. I'm a Florida fan. Don't do that. You don't want that. The guy's like 4 or 5 years away from being an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who in college I'd want anyway. There's nobody that's in the pros that I want. I mean, if they could get like a Lamar, that would always be a go-to. But they don't have the offense for
Derek
it.
Carr would be a nice stop.
No.
For,
They could
for
keep
the
Dan-
Giants, get him a receiver. That'd be a nice stop.
I'd rather keep
Offensive
Daniel
ends.
Jones.
Damn.
You don't think the offense could work with Lamar and Saquon Barkley, zone read? I think that would work.
That would work, dude.
Without the offensive
But
line,
again-
we'll kill Lamar.
But again, Lamar wouldn't have a receiver to throw to.
And that's
Well, he
the other
doesn't
one.
have.
He don't
What does
have
he?
one right now.
What does he have in Baltimore?
I mean, I like Lamar. I like to see him live. That offensive line, forget.
I'd like to see Lamar with an actual number 1 and see what he does. That's what.
He
I
had
That's
a
what I would
number
like to
one
see as well.
overall.
Hollywood Brown is horrible.
He's not a
That's
number
why.
one.
That's why he got traded to Arizona.
Once again, you're watching the pre-show on Sideline Sports Network. If you like, subscribe on YouTube. Got James Tatum, Fago Franklin, Will Stein, Jon Shearer,
Ooh,
Yeah.
you know me.
Fear the
and of
sheer.
course myself, JB Ellis. We're about to get to the convention center, so we're going to sign off. We'll be live on Radio Row in about less than an hour.
There's Chase Field.
Make sure you
Gotta get all the equipment set up. We'll be live on Radio Row. Gonna have a bunch of guests. Gonna have a bunch of stuff going on. So be on lookout, and we'll see you guys over there.